Narayanam namaskrityam naram jaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraye. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam namaskrityam naram jaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraye. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Śrīla Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Namaha Pankajanaabhaya, Namaha Pankajamaline, Namaha Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangriya, Krishnaya Vasudevaya, Devaki Nandanaya Cha, Nandagopa Kumaraya, Govindaya, Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear Vaishnavas, for connecting in our study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the essence of all the holy scriptures. We are so blessed and fortunate to study this together in the association of wonderful souls like all of you. I'm so grateful to everyone for your participation and continued association. So, last 2 days, we were discussing about different topics: faith in Krishna consciousness and not trusting the mind. And before that, we were reading about Canto 8 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, text chapter number 10, the battle between the demigods and the demons. So very, very ferocious, ghastly battle, very, very vivid description is, is mentioned here in the pages of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And we read how Bali Maharaj was attacking Indra and how Indra was counter-attacking or with his strength able to defend. So now let's move on to the next verse, text number 53 in this chapter 10, and see what happens further in this battle between the divine, the demigods and the demons. Text number 53. Natat pratividham yatra vidur indradyo nripa bhyataha pradura bhutatra Bhagavan Vishwabhavanaha. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O King, when the demigods could find no way to counteract the activities of the demons, they wholeheartedly meditated upon the Supreme Personality of God, the Creator of the universe, who then immediately appeared. Wow, this is so beautiful. The demigods meditated upon the Supreme Lord wholeheartedly. Very, very important point. And when we meditate or when we chant Krishna's name or hear Krishna's glories, it should be from the heart. It should not be just from the tongue. Any service, chanting, reading, hearing, dhyayataha. And then Krishna appears. When we call out for, even an ordinary person, if I call, like, let's say, Vipul Prabhu's name 5 times, then he'll certainly say, okay, what's going on? Why are you calling me? Then So if we call out for Krishna's name, then he'll certainly appear. He's waiting. But wholeheartedly, we should do it from the heart. And then Lord appeared immediately. Vishvabhavana. The Lord appeared immediately. And the word used here is that when no other way works, they called out. So ultimately, Krishna is the solution to all the problems. So when we have, and often even, when the patient goes to the doctor and then the doctor says, okay, please help me. And the doctor says, okay, I'll try, okay. And then say, okay, I tried everything. Now only Krishna can help. Now only God can help. So demigods were in a very, very difficult situation. If you remember text number 45 to 52, Bali Maharaj had created like so many illusions. The trees were falling, the animals were coming, harsh, fire, clouds, samvartaka, fire was there, everything was like a whirlpool of floods. So in this fearful situation, Nrotandas Thakur says, Padichi bhava tufane nahika nistara. There is no other way to get out of this whirlpool of fire, hurricane, this Samartaka clouds, this birth, old age, disease, death. Shri Charana Tarani Dane Dase Kuropara. Only there is one hope. What is that one hope? Shri Charana Tarani Dane, the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, the lotus feet of Lord Hari. And that's what demigods are teaching us, that when we take shelter of the Lord, God will certainly come. Any other comments? Any additions? Okay, let's move on to the next verse, text number 54. Would someone like to read this one? You can raise your hand if you're in a position to read. Yes, Sipul Prabhu.
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Tata Supannam Sha Pritam Hri Pallava Pishango Bhasha Nabo Kanja Lochana Adrishta Staya Uddha Bahur Ullaschat Sri Kostavo Angaraya Kritta Kundala. Translation by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose eyes resemble the petals of a newly blossomed lotus, sat on the back of Garuda, spreading his lotus feet over Garuda's shoulders. Dressed in yellow, decorated by Kostava gem and the goddess of fortune, and wearing an invaluable helmet and earrings, the Supreme Lord, holding various weapons in his 8 hands, became visible to demigods. So, to my limited knowledge, it looks like the first time I heard or reading that Lord also has 8 form presentations. So that is a new thing for me, Prabhuji. Back to you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So the beautiful description of the Lord's beauty, showing that he is a person. Again and again, whenever the Lord comes, his bodily features, his ornaments, his helmet, or the crown, the earrings, Kaustuba gem, the yellow garments, everything is discussed in great detail. So for those who say, and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the Gaudiya Vaishnavism is the only kind of, the Vaishnavism is the only way we can understand God as a person. Other religions, other sects, they just talk, okay, God is something, God is great, God is omnipresent. But what's his name? How does he look like? What does he wear? What's the color of the God? All this is mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and we are reading it right in front of our eyes. Vyasdev is mentioning. So Lord has here in this verse 8-handed form, and well, he can appear in 8-handed form, he can appear in 6-handed form, Shadbhuja, Ashtabhuja, Chaturbhuja, Dvibhuja. All these are names of Lord Gauranga. Dvibhuja, Chaturbhuja, Shadbhuja, Ashtabhuja. And Lord Gauranga showed actually in different pastimes, manifested sometimes 6-handed form. You may have seen this deity, actually, I'll try to share later. The two hands of the Lord Ram carrying bow and arrow, two hands of Lord Kṛṣṇa, and two hands of Lord Gauranga, the Shadbhuj form. So, very nice deity. Okay, so this is a description about the beauty. Let's see what happens when the Lord appeared. Yes, Sudhir Prabhu, you want to read?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna devotees, standard pranam, all praise to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 55. Tasmin pravasite asurakuta karmaja maya vinesur mahina mahiyasha swapno yatahi pratibhado agate hari smrti sarva vipad vimokshanam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As the dangers of a dream cease when the dreamer awakens, the illusions created by the jugglery of demons were vanquished by the transcendental prowess of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as soon as he entered the battlefield. Indeed, simply by remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one becomes free from all dangers. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful translation here. So Srila Prabhupada is telling, when a person who is, asleep has some, weird dreams, and when he wakes up, he feels very good. So in the same way, the demons were, you know, trying to do all the jiggery with their weapons and all. But as soon as the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, entered, you know, everything got intact for the demigods. So Prabhupada also says that just by remembering the Krishna, one can become free from all the dangers. So Krishna doesn't even actually need to come, but for for the sake of his devotees, he comes for the to show his love and affection. He can just diminish all these demons just by a thought, but he comes for this loving nature and loving reciprocation to the devotees. That's my understanding. Please add Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Amazing verse. This guy Gauranga Prabhu was explaining one time that if a person is in a dream, let's say you may all have dreamt of so many things in life. If a person is in dream and let's say a tiger is chasing, what's the best thing we can do to help?
Wake him up.
Wake him up. Very nice. But what most people do, they say, okay, I'm entering your dream and I'm taking a stick with you, don't worry. So the point is that the real state of awakening, Jiva Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole, Kota Nidra Yao Maya Pisha Chira Kole. We have to wake up. Now, one may say, well, I'm waking up. I'm not sleeping. See, my eyes are open. Correct? But real awakening, this is a state of also ignorance. Has we have discussed this point, the three different stages of intelligence. One, the sleep where we may be dreaming is like a short dream, and this life is like a big dream, until we come to the state of pure consciousness, or understanding Jivara Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. Until that, we are not in the state of awakening. Until that point, we will continue to suffer the pangs of the material world. But here's a very nice, actually, I want everyone to try to learn this, at least the last line. Hari Smritihi Sarva Vipad Vimokshanam. Very nice, easy to remember. Hari Smriti. When we remember Krishna or Lord Hari, Sarva Vipad, Vipatti, obstacle, difficulty, challenges, dangerous situations, Sarva Vipat, all kinds of dangerous situations, Vimokshana, immediately vanquish, they disappear. When one remembers Krishna. So, and that's the conclusion of all the scriptures. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshayet. Smartavya satatam Vishnu vismartavya na jatuchit. Sarve vidhi nishedasyo etayor eva kinkara. To remember Krishna, smartavya satatam Vishnu. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Vismartavya. That's the same word coming. Smaran, smriti. My wife is quoting another wonderful verse about smriti. Kathanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavit. What that means, Kathanchana smriti yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vismrite vipritam syad Sri Chaitanya namamitam. When one remembers Lord Gauranga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kathanchana, in any moment, at any time, at any place, dushkaram sukaram bhavet. Dushkar means, who knows the meaning of word dushkar? Anyone knows?
Difficult to perform.
Difficult to perform, yes. Difficult to do. Kar, dush, du, kar. Difficult to do. And sukar?
Easy to
Easy.
Easy. Very nice. Dushkaram sukaram bhavet. The things which are very, very difficult become very, very easy. And vismaran. Vismaran means opposite of smaran. When we forget Krishna, vismarata, vipritam syat. Viprit means, what is the word viprit? What does viprit mean?
Opposite.
Opposite. It's a typical Hindi word, Sanskrit word. So when we forget Krishna, opposite will happen. And what is that opposite? Even easy things will become difficult. And we have read that recently, that how demigods also were working and demons are also working. But demons also don't remember Krishna. They have to do a lot of effort and get practically zero result. They didn't get any nectar. The demigods did little effort and they get a lot of result. The devotees do little effort, get a lot of result. Those who don't remember Krishna, lot of effort, no result. The choice is ours, to remember Krishna or to forget Krishna. If we remember Krishna, we'll come to the state of awakening, all the miseries will go, and one will come to the state of awakening. Lord Shiva says to Parvati Mata, Suno Uma kahu anubhav apana, bin hari naam jagat sab sapna. This material world is like a sapna, a dream. Bina hari naam, without hari naam, without holy names. Hari naam, hari naam, hari naam eva kevalam, kaleva nastem, nastem, nastem gatiranyata. Satyam, satyam, puna satyam, hari naam eva kevalam. There is only one truth. Bhakti, Bhagavan, and Bhakta. The three bhas. Krishna, his devotees, and the process of devotion. Rest all is dream. Small dream or big dream. So, any comments, additions, questions?
Can I ask you the question, Prabhu?
Ji.
See, I understand, Prabhu, what you're saying about this continuously remembering Krishna, chanting, all those things. But that fear is always holding back And I guess because of that, at least I'm not performing well. That much I can tell you that. Because, I mean, who doesn't have the fear? One good characteristics of the fear is if you have fear, you remember the Lord. But the another side of the fear is as long as the fear is you, within your heart, this all thing is holding us back, at least holding me back. And I do understand that because of we are association in this material world too much, all those things. And but then it is looks like it's very difficult for me now to come out of this fear and uh, perform my duties or do the good karmas or whatever it is. So it looks very easy when I read it, but in the reality, um, it is really difficult, at least for me.
What kind of fear, Prabhu, you're referring? Thank you for your nice question and being honest. And what kind of fear are you referring here?
I mean, fear of anything, Prabhu, fear of death, fear of losing our near and dear, fear of losing our, family member. All this is like is by birth, basically. That is what we're living up to. And suddenly now, uh, I'm finding very difficult actually.
Thank you, Prabhu, for this question. Who would like to answer? Raise your hand if you want to answer or add something. Who wants to answer Prabhu's question?
Prabhuji, I so I should not, but just as a friendly and devotee circle, as a family, that's I'm talking. So Prabhuji, like my father is 79 years old, and recently we found there's some problem, could be a cancer and those things. And he just had a biopsy. We don't know the result yet. We'll know. He's 79, so he's my father, right? Everybody has a father, and we are all very connected. So I already uh, take it as a like very serious condition. It might be the worst condition, and like recently Shri Prabhu also had the same thing. So, but the thing is that Krishna consciousness gave me that at least my father will get a new body, if not went back to the Godhead, new body. So that keeps me my anxiety. Even I'm living far. He lives in New York. I'm here, trying to coordinate with through my friends and other extended family members, all the management going through. So that Bhagavatam class, Gita class, actually giving me much more relief than the if I 5 years back. So either way, I'm okay. It's Krishna's mercy if he comes everything good and nothing. But if everything happens, that also good in that he will get a new body, and we have to accept that. That is from my experience. What is going through right me, I'm just sharing. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. See, fear is very common symptom of material world, of these dualities, because this material world has dualities. Fear of losing near ones, fear of losing one's job, fear of losing one's family, fear of losing one's home, fear of losing one's health, one's money, one's this, one's that. But we are all in this journey, right? We are all in this different phase. We are all in this different, and the process is right with you, with all of us. The more sincerely we take, the more we'll become fearless. Bhajahure mana Srinanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Bhajahure mana Srinanda Nandana. Oh my mind, please chant, please worship Nandanandana, Sri Krishna. Abhaya Charanara Vindare, whose lotus feet grant Abhaya to everyone. Remembering Srila Prabhupada, Sri Abhay Charanara Vinda. Prabhupada's childhood name was Abhay, fearless. No doubt he did so many fearless tasks, coming to a country with no resources at the age of 70. Who would do that? Who would even dare to dream of that? What to speak of doing? In that too, a cargo ship with no resources, not knowing know anyone. A devotee is fearless. Prahlad Maharaj is fearless. Of course, we are not at that level, so we don't have to imitate artificially, but we have to remember that we have the best process. There is no other remedy to develop fearlessness or to become fearless of anything. Mare Krishna rakhe ke, rakhe Krishna mare ke. If Krishna wants to protect, no one can save. And if Krishna wants to not protect, then the best of the best of the best, whether money or wealth or doctors, anything cannot, change. So what do I have to control? We should analyze what is in my control. Practically nothing. Everything is in Krishna's control. So if we analyze carefully and take more shelter of scriptures, of Harinam, then the Lord will give us fearlessness. We should pray to Lord to give us fearlessness, to develop more emotional strength, more spiritual strength, so that I can boldly face whatever ups and downs come in my life, gratefully, honestly, and boldly, and keep moving. Because the more, and fear is, why does fear? Fear is of darkness or of ignorance, correct? When a person is in the state of awakening, for example, in darkness, one could feel that the rope is a snake and one could be afraid. But when the light is on, and say, oh, it's a rope, why should I be fearful? Correct? So in the state of Krishna consciousness, one sees things in the true perspective. That whether it's disease or, birth, old age, disease, death will come to everyone. So why do I fear? Is there anyone who has escaped this? Today I'm saying this is my home, but will it remain it forever? Anything and everything in this material world is like, it comes and goes. Again, easier said than done. All these things I'm just repeating from the Shastra theoretically. We're in the same boat, trying to develop these qualities. But when we repeat, when we discuss, this is also coming from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in Canto 7. When we discuss, then we will become fearless. Actually, we read that in Canto 7, the duties of civilized human being. By discussing these things, we'll become fearless. But it will give us more faith by seeing what challenges others are going through. It will give us more, by reading the biographies of great souls like Srila Prabhupada, how much fearlessness he had. Then we'll also try to follow in the footsteps and become fearless. Mare Krishna, Rakhe Krishna, Mare Krishna. If you want, I'll accept it gratefully. And if you don't want, I'll accept it gratefully. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Anyone else has any other comments or any additional points before we move to the next verse? Yes, Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna. Who actually People Prabhu, when you mentioned last year, when actually this same date, my sister's husband passed away suddenly. Then we called His Holiness Barshana Maharaj. And Maharaj gave one nice advice that first of all, the first thing we have to accept it. And Maharaj said, by associating with the devotees, we learn how to accept that Krishna's mercy. Everything we see as a Krishna's mercy. Maharaj said that the biggest difficulty it is that we cannot accept anything. And I just forgot, actually, he mentioned very nice term stating, and he quoted a verse. He stated that because we cannot accept it, and then it becomes difficult to understand. We kind of always contemplate in our mind why it happened, what could. So Maharaj said that associate with the devotees and learn how to accept Krishna's mercy. Everything is Krishna's mercy. Devotee sees everything is Krishna's mercy. So, and I saw that, as Bipul Prabhu was saying, that it was easier for me to understand that or accept that situation. So you mentioned very right nicely that actually association with the devotees and the reading the Bhagavatam, we learned, actually gradually we learned how to accept and see everything as Krishna's mercy. And our conviction, our faith becomes more stronger. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I want to share the wonderful Shadbhuj form of Lord Gauranga. So you see, in this beautiful form, he is holding the Kamandalu and the sannyasi stick in these two hands. He is holding the beautiful flute in the two hands, and is holding the bow and arrow in the green form as Lord Ramachandra. So the golden form, the bluish form, Krishna, and the green form, Lord Ram. This is the Shadbhuj form of Lord Gauranga.
When did he show this form, Prabhuji?
Not able to recollect that past time, but he showed this, I think.
He showed it to Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
Thank you. Kabir Prabhu is the scholar for Chaitanya Chaitamrit and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, which is amazing. So thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, let's continue reading. Next verse, text number 56. By remembering Krishna, by seeing Krishna's form, all the fear, all the anxiety is gone. Okay, now let's read next verse. Yes, Prabhu, want to read?
Hare Krishna, devotee. Thank you. Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Text 56. Drishtva mride garudabaham ibahari baha avidya shulam ahinad atha kala nemi talilaya garuda mudni patad gritya tena hanan nipa sabaham arim trayadisha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. O King, when the demon Kalanemi, who was carried by a lion, saw that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, carried by the Garuda, was on the battlefield, the demon immediately took his trident, whirled it, and discharged it at Garuda's head. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, the master of the three worlds, immediately caught the trident, and with the very same weapon, he killed the enemy, Kalonemi, along with his carrier, the lion. Purport: in this regard, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam says, Kalonemi adhyaya sarve kalina nihata api shukrena jibito santa punastanaiva potita. Kalonemi and all the other demons were killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. And when Shukracharya, their spiritual master, brought them back to life, they were again killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. So here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about the pastimes that Kalonemi, when he saw first Supreme Personality of Godhead, he attacked and he tried to throw his trident to Garuda, but Supreme Personality of Godhead, he took that, actually catch that trident and killed Kalonemi. And Srila Madhvacharya is saying that they were killed twice. Actually, first of all, they were killed, they were again, their life was given back by their spiritual master, Shukracharya, and then they were killed by the Lord again. If you remember, Nandini Kishori Mataji was saying that Kalonemi was actually next, but he became Kangsha. So I think that's my few points. Please add or correct.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I want to share this wonderful picture, which I shared in the group. And for those who have the hard copies, would have access to this. But those who don't have, can see. So this is Kalonemi, who's trying to harm Supreme Lord with his trident. And the Lord appeared on Garuda, caught the trident, and with the very same weapon, he killed the enemy Kalonemi, along with the carrier lion. So this is Kalonemi and this carrier. And you can see this battle scene is very, very ghastly. Another important lesson, the age-old lesson, those who try to dig a ditch for others, they fall in the very same ditch. So the weapon with which he was trying to kill the Lord, the same weapon became a cause of his death. Kamsa, we shared this in the last discussion, sent Putana to destroy Kṛṣṇa, but that very same Putana became a cause to harm Kamsa's, when she fell down, she, on a 12-mile land, all the crops and gardens and flowers were destroyed. And this theme is seen in multiple episodes, in multiple stories and pastime. In short, we should not try to harm others, because that same thing will become a cause of our disturbance. Anyone wants to share an example which happened to you or you may have seen? When someone tries to harm others, the same thing becomes a cause of harm to their own self. And these few examples were discussed here. I think there's only one more verse left, so let's read it. And there's not much purport either, so we can complete this chapter. So let's read. Any Matajis want to read the last verse of this chapter? Yes, Lakshmi Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, a second read Prabhuji. Mali Sumali Adibalau Yudir Pitaturya Chakrena Krita Sirasha Atma Malyavamstam Ahatya Tikma Gadaya Hanad Handa Jendram Tavachiro Chinad Arer Nadanto Arinadaya. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thereafter, two very powerful demons named Mali and Sumali were killed by the Supreme Lord, who severed their heads with his disc. Then Malyavan, another demon, attacked the Lord. With a sharp club, the demon, who was roaring like a lion, attacked Garuda, the lord of the birds, who are born from eggs. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original person, used his disc to cut off the head of that enemy also. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 8th canto, 10th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled The Battle Between the Demigods and the Demons. Haribol. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, Lord killed a few more demons. 4 demons were killed. So first, this Kalnemi, and in this verse, 3 demons, Mali, Sumali, and then Malyavan. So the Lord used the chakra or the disc to chop their head off the disc. Any other comments anyone has? Any questions before we pause for today? Okay, so maybe tomorrow we'll discuss the summary and highlights of this chapter. And if you have any reflections, you can reread the translations and share your reflections. I request everyone to at least share one lesson, one learning, one reflection, so that we can all learn from each other's. Someone may like one thing, someone else may like the other thing, and that's how our learning. This is basically churning the nectar of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and we draw different lessons from this beautiful text. So today we will pause here and continue tomorrow with the next verse. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samavita Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namo. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.